These are 4 bits that I will do. First, you need to find your. So my point was actually creating like the memory. I am the memory of conversation, like we're saying the same, but it's faithful for you.
And I'm dramaturg at the house for contemporary dance. And yeah, for me it's always special to work with tap dance artists, although you also have a lot of aspects of contemporary dance in your pieces, but yeah, it's really exciting to see how you develop it and what kind of possibilities, artistic possibilities in the tap moves and the tap sound lay also for choreography and for narration, for dramaturgy. So I think it was an amazing piece and a very intense and hard topics you choose. And maybe this is one of the first questions, like, I don't know if you want to share it, maybe it's nothing you want to say publicly, but I was wondering how you came to choose the topic of violence or hierarchies for a tap dance piece or dance piece, and how you researched for it. What were your inspirations?
I have an urge when I try to create, to put something that it bothers me in the society or something, or in psychological ways or social. So actually the first piece that I did years ago was about emotional trauma. And since the pandemic, there's like a huge amount of cases on violence. And I just came with the idea because we are also with the phones the whole day, so we have like this close image. And I came with the topic, I think I need to talk about this. So because of that, I started researching. So I read about psychopathies and the way this people is wired. And then I read about abuse, like the moral abuse and how it's connected, what kind of psychological profiles are in this situation, and also like the political words that we use to define what is violence and what is not. Take tap dance's language, but it's kind of a voice. So it's the same, but it's with the feet. So we're not the whole time talking. Sometimes just like a look has the same meaning. So I think I related a lot on like real life and using this as screaming or yelling to her.
I don't know, maybe tap dance is very expressive, but still, like for telling a story, I think if only using tap dance, it's hard. You can use it as a tool, or here it's used as a tool to make something stronger.
I don't know why I feel it that I needed acting and more dancing and more fusion for this. Also, that's my reason to bring Ayesha, because she's a contemporary dancer. So if not, I would bring like another tap dancer if I only wanted to do tap dancing. But I think this mix, so she's always like, she's seeing like, okay, it's balanced. Like we have the fusion.
In this piece, I find it really amazing how these tapping steps are used in a very different way also, and they are always very meaningful. I think in some cases they really support the atmosphere or give a rhythm. On the other hand, they are kind of a suspense maker, or I sometimes also feel that you can hear the hits, like somebody hitting somebody, or the violence, aggression, but also feelings, vulnerability or anxious feelings. It's very complex how you use the steps, and that was something you also developed by improvisation, or?
Some of them. I came like, I think we need some choreography here, and I like, go away, go for a walk, and I stay like create something. But for example, the last one is kind of like everything improvised, like organized in dynamics. But it's mainly improvised, except like when you see both of us doing the same.
I was also thinking in the piece about gender, or because I think coming to this relationship of a pair we are kind of in a heteronormative society really used to think about male and female, and also with the kind of aggressor and victim, that I find it very interesting in your piece that due to the costume and due to how you as performers act to it, it's really interesting how you work with these movements or identities as female or male, or maybe even non-binary. How do you relate to this topic of gender?
For her, it was very important that it's genderless. Mm-hmm. We don't want to show men and women. It's open, because everyone can be a victim of abuse. So everyone can be in every role, I think.
Maybe you can share a bit more thoughts about these roles of victim and aggressor.
Still, it's only 2 pieces from the whole concept, but we can see a clear action and situation that it has beginning and an end, close.
Yes.
Since this was close and she was most of the time in the floor, we picked it a little memory, what happened in the head of the victim once it's in the floor. So we pick it up from there and try to understand what are the processes, emotional processes that she goes through.
Yeah.
That was beautifully expressed by the way you shifted from now to okay, and in your movements. It was from I don't want this, but okay, I'm too scared not to go along. That was very, very touching.
It was also really threatening, the camera. Because as it got closer and closer, I was more afraid of the camera. It's such a great tool,
Yeah. I think, actually, the first image that I had when I was imagining this show was actually this. Was actually the camera. I had an image in my mind that I wanted to see the detail of the hand while someone is yelling to someone, because you can see the front thing, okay, but maybe the person inside dying. So that was actually the first image to create this.
I feel also that in the whole abusive thing, triangles and stuff, there's also people who witness within the family or with friends, and when you have to witness something and what you do, what you say, if you say something.
There's also a helplessness about the witnesses.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Hard to help someone who's in that situation. And so the imagery of us watching ourselves watching that is very deep, which is very real.
I love it that you take this, that you are creating something about this abuse, because it's very important that people speak about it. Because if you start talking about these issues, not only physical, psychological, and you're trustful, people talk about themselves, and the society is not aware how often that happens. We are more aware about sexual or physical abuse, but not about psychological abuse, and it takes place in all kinds of places.
For me, the next step is what I want to say with this show, actually. It's where I want to go. I step in something really hard, so I want to be careful how to continue this and paying respect to all of the people that is going through this.
Maybe this is a perfect ending. Yes.